privacy. Alex, if you move forward and give us an insight. Alex is a distinguished commentator, but you better get you in your past.
I sound terribly excited. I used to be a former director of communications for the Ulster Unionist Party and worked for the party for a very long time indeed when I was director of communications. When Sir Reg, or Lord Reg as he is now, was party leader. In terms of where we are now, I think it means people say, I never thought, if you go back almost 3 years, I didn't believe, I said this to some of the other panel, I did not believe that after 3 years, we would reach the point 3 weeks before the United Kingdom was due to leave, in which we still didn't have a vote or any direction. I have a friend who's a businessman, a well-known businessman, who voted Remain, and was keen that we stay in the European Union. And we meet for breakfast or lunch once a month, and we met on the day the EU result came in, and I asked him what it meant, and he said, look, I mean, my business started at the time when the roaring inflation in the United Kingdom was 14, 15, 16%. We lived through Black Monday when the pound crashed out. I took a massive hit in 2008, 2009, which is world crash, all of that. All I need, Alex, all any business needs at this time is certainty and clarity. It needs to know what the government is doing. And he always said, you know, his father, his watchwords, and he picked those up from his father, is to, in order to prepare, you need to be aware. And the only people can make you aware, in this case, is the government. Reg is right. Reg has summed up the problem. It is a Remain Parliament, a Remain Prime Minister, a spectacularly, monumentally useless and weak Prime Minister, which doesn't help in one of the most important periods in British history. But I think the key to all of this goes back to the very beginning of the campaign with two things. First of all, no one actually believed, and I speak as someone who's a Leaver, no one actually believed that a Prime Minister of the United Kingdom would be demented enough to offer a second referendum in those circumstances. And the other thing, which was noticeable, is that the Leave side didn't prepare to win, and the Remain side didn't prepare to lose. So we ended up with David Cameron that morning, and the most extraordinary thing, the most important decision that the United Kingdom had been asked to make. And David Cameron appears, when he's lost the campaign, says, oh, well, I'm leaving, by the way, I'm buggering out of here because I don't know what happens. But more important than that, it becomes clear within 24 hours that he had not instructed the executive arm of his government to prepare for a leave. So no one had any idea. He brings in, Theresa May comes in, she is no one. She triggers Article 50 without having made any plans either. And people say to me, well, why I leave? I have no difficulty with my leave decision. I stand over my leave decision. What I did not factor into all of this was just how serially useless and incompetent Parliament would prove to be in a case like this.
Let me ask you, as a Leaver, what is it that informs somebody of your line of thought? What is it? Is it emotion about the breakup of the Union, or what decides for you, pragmatically, to opt for leaving, Alex?
Okay, for me, I mean, people, when you listen to some people who react, you know, from the Remain side of the camp who react to Leavers, it's just basically anyone who voted Leave was mad. You know, should go and get their head examined or be carted away somewhere by the men in white coats and left. Many people who voted Leave thought long and hard about the decision, thought long and hard about the consequences. And for me, there were four things. Would the United Kingdom be able to survive outside the European Union, even in economic terms? Yeah, but I did that on the basis of assuming that a deal could be done reasonably easily. There would be difficulties. I never denied there would be difficulties, but a deal could be done. The other thing I asked was I personally and ideologically content with the direction of the EU? Forget the economic stuff, but in terms of what the EU had been, what we joined in 1973, and what it become from 6, 7 nations to what we are now, which is in essence, I'm not saying it is a superstate, but it has the appearance of a superstate. And Macron, you know, in the past few days, talking about the army, talking about a foreign policy, all those things which instinctively I didn't like. And I wasn't expecting to vote. I never thought I would get a vote in this. But when you ask people a question, they will give you an answer whether you like it or not. So my view was, did I like? No, I didn't like the direction. Did I think it would raise questions about the union? Yes, I did. I thought, yes, it is quite possible that if we vote Leave, there will be questions raised about the constitutional integrity of the United Kingdom, and particularly the constitutional integrity of the relationship between North and South. I still voted leave on the basis that even if every single person in the United Kingdom had voted to remain, in real terms, in terms of Irish nationalism and Scottish nationalism, their desire, their ambitions, their aspirations weren't going to change. So the notion that somehow you were protecting the Union by voting remain didn't hold up for me. And the other thing was, very quickly, did I think a bespoke deal was possible, recognising the very special circumstances of Northern Ireland? Yes, I did, and I cannot understand why it is. Other than blaming, and I will blame one person, this in very quickly. I think the DUP, who clearly didn't expect to win this, at the moment when they found themselves in government with Theresa May, they should have kept open the doors to Sinn Féin, to the Alliance Party, to the Ulster Unionists. They should have made sure that they talked collectively with Dublin and with Brussels. At the moment when the DUP needed to be its most courageous and most sensible, it played the uber unionist card, lined up with a bunch of people, in some cases who are serial lunatics, and have ended up with a problem of their own making.
Okay.